Hey everybody, so today is the day, which we're in the 11th hour, so I'm actually filming this on the 30th and it's hopefully going up later this afternoon. It's going to be my Hobonichi 2020 setup. Now, it should not be that long unless I get super chatty, so hopefully I can kind of keep it contained. But it should be pretty simple. I have set up videos for my 2018, 2019. I have flip throughs of both of those as well, so feel free to check those out just to kind of see some other takes or maybe just the evolution of Hobonichi with me. I'm looking forward to doing more Hobonichi with me videos this year, or 2020, as well. I actually put it to a vote on Instagram. Should I do February plan with me on Instagram Live or YouTube? So feel free to log your vote down below if you don't follow me on Instagram. But I'm going to go ahead and get to the point and start going through this little guy. So this is actually my Galen leather case that I got. It's super nice. I think I posted a video of it when I got it. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. If not, I filmed it and I saved it so that I could show a video of it all stuffed, which never happened. Here's why. Because I'm constantly changing what's in here. Recently, I actually cleaned all the pockets out so that I could get it ready for 2020. And in all honesty, I don't really put anything in there. I have like a separate travel bag of stuff. The only thing I consistently keep in here are the planner and kind of basic pens, pencils, which I can walk through. I use this space to tuck little things. I have an awful habit of hoarding little odds and ends and business cards and things, and that's totally part of the junk journaling and the smash booking and the paper crafting and the travel journaling, Hobonichiing, all that. So I totally feel like that's normal. But just kind of hitting the high points. I have my Hobonichi 2020. Oh, it's my 2019 pen is in here. And it actually has the red, the blue, and the black. I don't really use it. My typical go-to pen is my Pilot G2.38. I have an eraser. I have a Pilot G2.5 pencil. I have a Signo Uniball in the broad, which I think is a like 1 point. Sorry, I'm trying to see if it's on here somewhere. I think it's like a whole point. And then I have Micron pens in sepia, and in black in the 01, off to the side because they're archival, so I can watercolor over them. And they're a little bit more tolerable with that, and they're not as glossy of a finish. So I use those every once in a while. So I'm gonna just, oh, I do have my little secret washi stash. I don't mind these. This I'm not a fan of. This has taken me forever to get through. I think I did this over the summer at some point, and I'll be so glad when I'm through it. But I really do kind of like the boards. I need to order some. The boards have been good though, to kind of give me a smattering and let me pick a little bit easier, because the other one had the width, that you kind of had to work with. So if you had one that was bigger than that, you were kind of screwed. Or if you wanted a bunch of skinny, or yeah, it was just a mess. And I have a lot of washi. It's obnoxious. But I'm going to slip this little guy out for now and just go through him. So I'm a Hobonichi Techo cousin, Avec. So that means that my book is split up into 2 books for 1 year. And just to give you an idea why that's probably a good idea with me, this little chunky monkey is 2019's July through December. There is no physical possible way that I could probably fit this all into one book. None. I have thought about it more times than I can count, about what if I went down a size, or what if I went into one book, or what if because I really am intrigued by the English version and really would love to see that, but they don't have it in an Avec, so I'm stuck. I definitely don't want to go smaller. My friend Taylor Ann, she went down a size because she could handle it. I can't. I write too big. I write too much stuff. I put pictures. I put everything. I'm just not ready for it. So I have an Avec. I do have an A5 edition, so it is the larger of the two. I don't do anything with my front covers, really. I've stuck stickers on them. I think I put a wine bottle label in one of them. I don't know. I just haven't reached that point where I've found something that I want to do with it. Maybe I'll stick ephemera on there, like all the leftover ephemera that doesn't go into paper crafting stuff, and it doesn't, there's no space for it on the page that it was meant for. This is the first time that I'm doing a YouTube tracker because I really wanted to commit to more videos this year, and I wanted to commit to one video a week. So I just took some really pretty stamps of mandalas that I had and used some distress ink. The stamps are from Mindful Hookups, which is Quinn Boulay. I have a haul for her down below, so you could probably see him in that. And I just wrote YouTube on the top, and I'm gonna either stamp or bubble in all the days that I actually post a video, I think, just to kind of see. I wanted to leave the calendars blank for 2019 and 2021. This is my tracker page. It should look pretty familiar if you've already seen my 2019 setup. The only thing I was bummed about is I didn't use the same bright yellow. I wasn't looking at this one when I did it. I missed that bright yellow. But still, I like how this works. I like the design of it. I'm definitely going to keep with my funky way. And I always forget who, I think it's Journal with a Purpose that I saw do this, and it just stuck. As you can see, I totally dropped off 10 days into December pretty much and just failed. Didn't do anything for November. It was a mess. So I'm really hoping that I can get back on the train of tracking in 2020. So there are a couple things that I always track, which are my steps, my power hours, water, a workout, my calories, and those are all the way across. Now, I also throw in supplemental stuff. So this month I'm really keen on organizing, or I keep saying this month, but I feel like it's already here. It'll be here in 2 days. And if you're a planner and a crafter and you understand anything about journaling, we're all in that 2020 mindset, so it's super easy to say that. So I'm going to focus on organizing. I have been doing Use Your Junkmas, so I've been on Instagram just about every day, either posting or liking and commenting on people's stuff who are also doing the challenge that Taylor and I are hosting. So I just want to make sure I kind of continue that traction a little bit into 2020. Just to kind of keep that going. Project Life. I'm going to actually have some time this month to Project Life more than I thought I was. So I think it's a good time for me to kind of knock out some spreads if I can. I want to wear my waist trainer again. I had such a great time over the holidays, but it's time to like get it all back in. So I wanted to track that, and then tracking, because like I said, I was really off track the last 2 months. So I just wanted to kind of recommit and have a place to put that. I did use Tim Holtz Distress ink in both of those spreads just to show you how that can kind of differ. I don't have the stamps right in front of me for what brand this is. I will try to remember and link it down below. If I don't, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll tell you guys what brand it is. I actually don't think they're in business anymore. I hate to say that, because my mom ended up getting a bunch of them at a scrap show recently, and the person told her that unfortunately they were having to like downsize the business or something like that. So I don't think they're even available anymore. But I liked the like little beehive and her with her wings and all of that look with it. This is the first time I've actually gone really crazy with this spread. This is usually my pre-planning spread. So this is where normally I chart birthdays or silly things like I've put National Strawberry Ice Cream Day because I love strawberry ice cream. Stuff like that. So I used a stencil from Tim Holtz. It's not the doily one, but I can't remember the name of it. And then I used some pink paisley. These are pink paisley. That brand I don't know. That's a Tim Holtz for sure. But this is my pre-planning page. Normally I do people's birthdays. Like I have Turkey Day, Black Friday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, more birthdays, fall starts, National Lipstick Day, stuff like that. And then also I'll use it pre-planning. So if I find out, or if I buy concert tickets, I can go ahead and put it on this if it's not in that planner. So this is my like pre-planned dump ground. I am really aggravated with this page. Okay, so this is a little bit different and I will show you why. So typically every Hobonichi that's an Avec, even if it is January through June, it will have the month before and the month after. So this is January through June, but it has December and it will also have July. Typically, I use that to do like a one line a day kind of thing. So, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, third law of motion. I have no idea what that refers to, but that was like something that stuck out in my brain that day. Like maybe something happened, something like that. And that was just something that resonated with me that day. Let's see. Saturdays are for running, errands, kissing, great food, and butterflies. And I think that was the day that we grilled out in the backyard and a butterfly like landed on Jeffrey and then he like put it into my hand. So it was really cute. But it's just a really funny blip. It's like how my brain works and rereading them just makes me chuckle. So typically that's what I would do. However, I was a little crazy and didn't have my brain all put together. So when I was rushing around, I ended up doing December in the July through December. And I'll have to do it again in July, which will be convoluted, but it'll be okay. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of fill-in work to do. So what I would typically do through the actual months of the notebook, journal, planner, what I would typically do is use the planner monthly spread to track my workouts. So I did nothing last week. Not even, I just ate last week. It was obscene. We both took a huge week off. Things have been a little hectic the last week and a half for various reasons, mostly personal, but just to give you an idea of what I use my monthly trackers as, the month prior to the start of the planner and the month after the ending of the planner, I use as a one line a day kind of quick off the cuff moment of the day. I use the actual months that are also available in that particular planner to chart my workouts. I hope that made sense. Really hope that made sense. But yeah, that's it. So even though I haven't started this, my workouts for December are going to be in here for whatever that's worth. So like I'll use this whole spread to track workouts. Another thing that I do is I track bills down the side. I just write my check dates and then what needs to be paid during that pay period. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I watercolored this page with my Jane Davenport watercolors, added some cute Maggie Holmes stickers, and then just doodled. I'll be honest, this actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to, because I really didn't like it at all to begin with. So I'll take it. I haven't done February because, like I said, I kind of put it to a vote. Did I want to do it on Instagram Live or YouTube? I also don't do a lot of pre-planning. Like, I don't want to fill everything up because I enjoy that process. It's therapeutic for me anyway. But going through all those motions and just giving myself room as well, because things can happen, things can change. So I don't really like to pre-plan the months and the bills and everything, even though I know what they are, I know what their dates are, their amounts are. I really don't like to get ahead of myself because sometimes I like to move things around. So there's that. So I'm gonna just flip through these because they're all blank. I think when I did the last setup, I did like a 3-month at a time. So I did the first 3 months and then just kind of pedaled through the last couple whenever I wanted to. Now this is where we get into the weekly spreads. So some things that have stayed the same. I typically track birthdays at the top, and then I use my hour by hour. It is no secret if you have watched any of the 2019 videos, and I'll talk about it when I do the flip through, I sucked at my hour by hour so bad. I did so great at it in 2018, and I was really jazzed about it, and then for whatever reason, I just fell off. I think a lot of it had to do with I got craftier this year in my Hobonichi than I did in 2018. It was less about journaling and ranting and whining and more about creating art and using that space in a different way. So that affected my tracking. It affected my scheduling because it might be 10 o'clock in the morning and I decide that I want to paint for 2 hours, and that was not conducive to an hour by hour at all. So then I tried to kind of weasel that in and it didn't really work. So now going forward, I need to put myself on a better timetable and I need to be more productive. Not that I'm away from the art. It just means like, if that's what I want to do for that day, then that's what I need to do. And I just need to write in there, okay, cool, you're going to project life with me until you're done with that or whatever. And there's that. So hopes of 2020 that I'm better at using my hourly. The other thing that I really liked for my 2019s that I did was meal planning and prep. And the way that I did it was I took this little Studio Calico, no, it's not Studio Calico, Studio L2E maybe? Oh, no. I take that back. It is Studio Calico. It's from like a little set that I had. And it's just a knife and fork and spoon icon. And I do have one from Studio L2E though. So that was a honest mistake. But I stamped it at 1 o'clock every day. And then again, I think at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I did it at 1 and 7 so that I could meal prep and plan. And that would allow me to write down the meals so I could see it on paper. And I know that sounds really silly, but when you're like, okay, I'm going to make these 3 things and that's going to yield 6 meals, and it gets jumbled in my head anyway. And I don't like to eat the same thing back to back. So I don't like to have salad 4 days a week. I want to break it up. So I know that I can do salad Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But the cool thing about that is I'm going to have something Monday night and Tuesday. I'll have 3 meals before I have to eat that salad again. So if it's not something that I'm really interested in, essentially. Also, I really don't like to eat like chicken back to back or pork back to back or beef back to back. I really like to have a variety. And so this made it really easy. That probably sounds really crazy out loud. And then I used these Studio L2E icons for the hydrate with the 8 glasses of water. I'm really bad at tracking my water. I have an amazing in Bravo water bottle. It's off to the side. That's what I'm clicking. It's gigantic. And it's helped considerably because of the fact that it holds 32 ounces of water. So I only have to fill it once and I can be done. And it's easy for me to look at it and be like, oh, I got a lot to drink before midday, you know? So yeah, long and short of that is maybe by having these where I can color them at the bottom of the day will be exciting. I didn't put my icons on Saturday and Sunday because typically I don't have to do a lot of meal prep and planning. We kind of play it by ear those days, depending on the weather, because if it's nice, we're usually outside and cooking, and if we're inside and cooking, it's comfy food. So we're off the cuff with that most of the time. So it just seems silly to put icons in there when it's subject to change most of the time. So I went ahead and stamped all of January and put everything in. I did put the Inky Quill YouTube live stream. That was actually the first thing that went in my planner, and I was so excited that she was the first thing that I got to put in there. I'm such a huge fan of hers. But I just did a little clock sticker that I had from hanging out. I think it's from the Heidi Swap planner. Not the planner series, it's the sticker books that they did with American Crafts, the first round of them. I think that you can find them on places like scrapbook.com now, but Hobby Lobby had them. Oh, Tuesday Morning has them. So if you haven't hit a Tuesday Morning in a while, all of those sticker books are like $6.99 now, which is fantastic. But yeah, I went ahead and just used that little guy in there. And because she's Australian, she's doing it in her time frame, obviously. So I wanted to make sure I could chart that. So I'll have to tune in as best I can then. Obviously there's nice, lovely smudges all over the place, but that's not, to me, it's about being functional. I would love if my planner was super pretty, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. That's just the real and honest truth. But that's where I stopped because, as I said, I really wanted to do a plan with me February. The only thing that I did do is put everybody's birthdays in just one hit. So then we get to these funky little pages. So you get 2 pages before the daily pages start after the weeklies. So I was really inspired by designer Brittany did these gorgeous swatches like this, and I thought I would kind of do something similar down the side, and so I did. And that way I left all the space for writing or to make a to-do list. I might use it as a master list for some things. Not entirely sure what I want to do with that yet. I usually have a bill page in every single one of them. I've always had that, but it's typically in the back. And I thought it might be cool to have it towards the front. So I'm not fumbling for it in the back anymore. So I just used some stamps. I had some from 7 Gypsies that were a typewriter font. I don't know that I love this, to be honest. And then I went back in with my Micron pen and did some detailing. I actually need to add to this because I got Disney Plus yesterday. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to throw that in there while we're all on camera. Why not, people? That's going to be perfect. Now we're going to get into the daily, sorry. So I came from the Happy Planner world. And we always had these like currently pages that I never used. I thought they were beautiful, but I never knew when to use them. That was the problem. I tried using it at the first of the month, and then just a random day of the month, and then in the middle of the month, and I just didn't like it. I felt like, yes, it's supposed to be a snapshot of that month, that year, that moment, and I thought, okay, stop. You're overanalyzing it. Just do it at the first of the month. Just do it at the first, and then see, you know, how you like that for a little while. And I always struggle with this page. I've done a bunch of different things. I've done letters to myself. I've used photos to recap the month, like photos that never made it to the page that they were actually taken up the day that I took the picture. Oh, I jumbled that all up. Okay. Pictures that were basically extras from the month ended up on this page, whether they were important or not, and it was just a great place to dump some stuff, to be honest. But I thought this would be a really cute idea to try. So we'll see how it goes. I haven't done any other months. That's a huge deal for me, because normally I pre-decorate this page for every single month, or at least a couple months whenever I shoot this video. But I wanted to give myself room because I knew I had product coming in that I wanted to play with. But I also feel like pre-planning was kind of getting on my nerves. I liked having it kind of prepped, and it was one less thing to do sometimes. But by the time I did so many pages, I was just bored, and it wasn't as exciting anymore, and it wasn't as pretty, I felt like. Or I'd find my groove, and then I'd lose patience. So with this, I can play with it a little bit more, and I'm actually going to have a little bit more time than I thought going into the new year to play with it. So I look forward to that. And I already have some ideas of what I'm going to do. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so this is now at the back of the planner. So ends on 6:30 with the dailies. And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6? I think it is 6. Because I'm pretty sure this is not, I think it might be 7. 6, 7 grid papers that are like this in the back. And as I said before, I've used them as monthly bill pay pages and stuff like that. I have used it as a Project Life tracker page before. So I wanted that in there for sure. A big goal of mine is to work through a bunch of these older spreads. Obviously, I'm doing 2015 and it's about to be 2020. I have so much to catch up on. So I definitely wanted to incorporate that, and I loved just how Amy Tangerine Vomit that looks like. It's all these pretty watercolor swatches, and then I used a stamp set I had from her to do her classic little crosses that she does, her little brushstroke crosses, and then I used a brush pen to do the Project Life 2015 2016, and then I just used my pilot pen to make the list, and I'm just going to cross it off. I don't want it to be a checkbox. I just thought, cross it off, be excited about it. So I listed out everything, and then I ran out of space for 2016. There's like a couple more spreads. I don't think I'm going to kill this list in 6 months, so there's no worries of that. And so it'll just carry on in the new edition, which will be fun. These are all Jane Davenport watercolors, by the way. So this is really exciting to me. I got really excited to do this page. I was inspired by an art journal spread by Inky Quill, and wanted to replicate it in my Hobonichi. And I was originally going to list out 30 things to do before I turned 30. So I'm 28 now. I'll turn 29 in March, and then obviously in 2021 I will turn 30. So I thought that was a good time frame, 30 things to do by 30. Some were big, some were small, some were way, I'm reaching on some of them, and some were super attainable. So it was a good smattering of it all. But I used Dilution's black paint to do both of the backgrounds. And I ended up covering something on this side, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is. train of thought. Not even gonna lie. So we have the Dylusions black paint. I don't know what I covered up on this side. I really don't. I think it was the timetable. Yeah, I think it was the timetable because I've never used it in any of the spreads, and I'm not in class, so that doesn't make sense. I don't have any reason to use a timetable. Maybe that would make me more effective. But I just covered it up. And then I had some distress paint in the weathered wood, and it's actually more gray, but it turned purple over the black, which I thought was kind of neat. And I used a stencil. I don't really care for the globby spots, but that's just the way it turned out. And then I had this amazing large Dylusions star stencil with kind of the wonky stars. So I definitely wanted to use that. And so I used that with the yellow Dylusions paint. So it's really, really simple. Nothing really chaotic. And then I started thinking about it and I was like, what color pen are you going to use with this? Because the white should, in theory, show up pretty well, but it's going to look like a hot mess. And so I decided to use, I'll go backwards once I go forwards, the My 100 list to do the 30 by 30 list. I was so happy they brought this back. Oh my gosh, that was one of the biggest things I hated about the 2019s. I don't know why. I could have written it down. I could have used space, whatever, and recreated it, and it would have been fine. But I loved it being so small, so organized, and wonderful. So I actually went back and used my 2018s to help fill this in too. But I left 1 through 30 blank. I already had a rough draft list going, so I filled that in. Then I started again at 31 to put pieces from my 2018 list that I hadn't completed. And put that in there. And some of them are really simple and some of them are not. Like going to India, and I'm trying to read them. I want to apply for some design teams. I want to get a laptop. I want to go to New York and see my friend who lives up there. I have a friend in Northern California that I want to go see. I have a friend in Michigan I want to go see. So like it was trips, but it's also like purge your closet, organize your crafts, organize everything, basically become debt free, go to Cumberland Island. Like it's things like that. It's just all those things that you want to do, big, small, and in between, all in one place. So I love that my 100 list is back. In the process of playing with the yellow, I got some yellow on the back of this page. I don't ever use the graph paper. I don't know that I would. I thought about using it to track weight. I thought about it to use with credit scores. I've thought about it to use with whole bunch of things, but I never really settled on anything that I wanted to be in here. The weight I can see on MyFitnessPal, so I don't, and I can snapshot it any way I want. I guess it would be cool to see just that 6 months, but I can kind of do that in there too. I don't know, word's still out, and graphs make my head hurt sometimes, like creating them. I do love the My Favorites page. It's fun to fill out throughout that time. I don't think I have one that I filled all the way down. Usually I get through like this side. But I love that it can be movies, books, music, food, shopping, and then there's an applause. So I don't know what that is, what that might constitute as. So, the rest of the pages are all in Japanese, and I have no idea how to read Japanese. There is a gifts page. I usually use the gifts page in the front half of the year as pre-planning. So it's who I'm going to buy for. And then I use the last one for what am I going to buy. And I edit the list down. Or up sometimes. Addresses. I've used it a couple different times, but usually the same address is the one I put in there, which is my friend Taylor's. And I think I have it written down enough times where I don't need to keep writing it down in here. I don't ever know how to fill this out because, again, it's in Japanese. At least with this, I can kind of figure it out and make sense of it. So the long and short of this is that it's a really simple setup video. It's nothing crazy. I do love that the My 100 list is back and that there's more paper in the back of these than there was in the 2019s. There was not a lot of extra room, which made things really chaotic. But I really like my setup. I feel like it's simple and it's clean and it gives me a lot of room to create and play. I'm excited to be able to use my cover for a while because I obviously haven't been able to use it a lot since I got it, because by the time I got it, my 2019 was getting really, really chunky, and it's huge. It won't even fit in there now. Like, it's absurd. Another thing that I will just share in this video while it's on my brain is the fact that I don't know how much art, and I don't know how much junk stuff I'm gonna actually put in this. I did two kind of junk journal challenges in this, which made this very, very chunky, admittedly. I don't think it would have been the same if I had just done like flat challenge spreads, but it definitely made it very, very chunky doing the Junkmas style, which I don't know that I'll do again. If I choose to do a challenge like that, I'll probably have to pick another book, because this is getting really crazy towards the end and hard to write on. So I just don't want to put myself through that. But I'll let you guys know what I decide to do. This year, I'm also only planning to do, I think, about 4 challenges. I'm going to do, as long as she does it, as long as Jane puts out Fairyary in February, I'm going to do it. I'm totally on board for Mermaid. I think that was one of my favorite things to do. Fairies and mermaids, I can do all day, every day. I'm going to do Whimsyween in October with James Burke Creative. I chose to do Junkmas this year, and I'm very excited to do Whimsyween, and then maybe I'll do Inktober the year after. Who knows? And then I will do Use Your Junkmas, which is the thing that I'm hosting with Taylor Ann now, just because it's something we started and a lot of people got on board with. So I would be so thrilled to be able to do that again with her and just make that our thing to finish out the year. I just think that that's something special and fun. So I'm only slated to do those, not because I don't love them, but because they're very time consuming and they tend to derail me when it comes to journaling. So I want to figure out a way to be able to incorporate journaling with some of these challenges in the next year. But I hope that this was short enough or long enough or whatever it needs to be. But I'm going to get this up this afternoon so that you guys can take whatever you want from it. I'm enjoying watching everyone's 2020 setup videos too, and grabbing ideas for the coming year to see what I want to implement in my own throughout the year. Otherwise, stay tuned. Probably mid-January to expect a Hobonichi 2019 July through December flip through and just see all the madness that is in this. It's insane. But I hope everyone had a wonderful and Merry Christmas and is looking forward to a brand new year, a brand new decade, and a ton of potential. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.